we have one of the most well-known individuals in Web3 coming on stage right now. I'm sure many of you are here because you want to network, connect with others, and build your own personal brand in Web3. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce the legend, the Lord Truffington. Please give him a warm round of applause.
That is way too much. Okay, let me, a second. This is not gonna, okay. I have too many things in my hands. Okay. Well, where is my presentation? Is that? Well, GM friends, welcome to NFT.London. Welcome to my talk. I'm very happy that I've been given a slot early on in the morning of the first day, so people are still paying attention and not too hungover, so that's good. My name is Lord Truffington, and I hope that at least 2, 3, 5, let's say 5 of you know me, because I'm here today to talk about personal brand in NFTs. And obviously, if you haven't heard about me, that would be a bit of a problem. Oh, yeah, that was the intro slide. So what is a personal brand, and why do we even care? If I mention Paris Hilton or Kim Kardashian, you know who they are. You might not know what they have done, what businesses they've built, but you have heard of them. So to put it in other words, you recognize their personal brand. Now, you're all here at NFT conference, so probably you're also familiar with the other 2 people that I put on the screen, Zeneca and Punk6529. They as well have done loads of things in the space and for the space. But you probably might not know them. You know their brand, you know their name, and their PFP on Twitter, which I'll come to later. Now, all of these people have built over their careers their personal brands and then their businesses around this brand. It's incredibly important, and we will see later why. So who is this guy that is actually talking here about personal brands? Well, by training and background, I'm an investment banker, a hedge fund for 10 years in London and New York, then pivoted my career, became a tech entrepreneur, and startup founders, and at the end of 2020, I decided to take a break. The break did not last very long, because one day I read an article about NBA Top Shot, and these things called non-fungible tokens. I fell into the rabbit hole head first, became an NFT degen, trading every single day. The good thing is that alongside that, I also started to explore the world of art, which was something very foreign to me. And I have become, that was a slippery slope, and I've become actually a big art collector. I have over 1,000 art NFTs in my collection. I have helped countless artists to enter the space. I'm a curator of physical spaces, exhibition virtual, an advisor of an NFT fine art marketplace called Materia. And recently, I've even embraced my own artistic side and became a photographer. It's, you know, it has been a journey. When I look back, I'm incredibly proud of what I built. But also I realized that along the way, I have built something even more valuable than all these experiences, which is the Lord Truffington brand. And it has been incredibly helpful to everything that I have done. So, as you've seen, I've got about 22,000 followers, which is not a lot, but I'm lucky enough to have built an engagement that is the equivalent to accounts that have 10 times the number of followers. Whether, you know, you can see some stats there, 1.4 million impressions a month, or 250,000 profile visits. What's important is the quality of the engagement that you have. Now, I guess you are either here because you really love me and want to get an IRL glimpse of the Lord, I know that's not the case, I know. Or because you want to... Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Iki. I think you're here because you want to learn a little bit about how to do that. I have good news and a bad news. The bad news is that there is no silver bullet. The good news is that nevertheless you can get there. And you just have to play what I call the Hunger Games. No, sorry, the Twitter game. Yes, because Twitter ultimately is the platform of choice of this community. It's not Instagram, it's not TikTok, it's Twitter because NFTs come from crypto. Crypto has always been on Twitter, and therefore that's where you need to be. Now, as we have seen, what's important in your personal brand and on Twitter is actually engagement. It's not the number of followers. It's who are your followers, their quality, and what is their engagement with you and your content. And how do you get engagement? Well, by actually providing real value to the community you're trying to build around you. And you need to be useful and interesting to them. It's actually that easy. It's not quick. It's a grind. It's something that where you need to put a lot of effort into it, but it's definitely worth it. So I have 4 golden rules. The first one is you gotta show up. You gotta be active, and you got to be consistent. You need to tweet every day, or the algorithm will forget about you. The second one is that you need to be real and yourself. I think on Twitter, we can have a much deeper interactions, engagement with people. So if you're fake, it's going to show up. So bring your real self to the table, and people will appreciate that. Be supportive. This is a new space. Everybody's always learning something from someone else. Be that someone else. And then the 4th rule, which I shouldn't probably mention, but yeah, you never know, do not be an asshole. I don't know if I could say that, but I've done it. Anyway. Now, before I go, I am going to leave you with some little tips that I've learned from my own experience on how to Twitter, basically. First of all, your profile bio. It's the first port of call for anyone interested in following you. It's like a website for a product. Have you ever been to a website and it's absolutely crap and you're like, man, I'm not going to buy the product at all. So make sure it's on point. Now, your profile picture, very important. Choose a profile picture that is recognizable, that will become your brand, and don't change it if possible. I'll give you a little anecdote here. A couple of months ago, I was an NFT IRL event here in London. My ape is called Harry, and I've had Harry as my profile picture for about 15 months. And I have Harry as a screensaver on my phone. And while I was there talking, I took out my phone, and Harry was there, and someone approached me and said, hey, I know that ape, you are Lord Truffington. My mind was blown, but this shows you how important that PFP actually is. Especially when you start on Twitter, don't always talk about yourself. I'm sorry to break it to you, but we are not as interesting as we think we are. So try to engage with other people's content as much as you can. Keep a ratio of 10 to 1 probably of interaction with other people's and your own content, at least until you become someone that people follow because they're really interested in what you're saying, etc. Twitter is, as I said earlier, you can really build meaningful interactions, and you do that by having conversation with people. And you start that by asking people their opinion, whether it's on a tweet or via DMs. So use that. Ask the opinion of people and provide yours when asked. It's very easy, but it's very, very, very powerful. Keep it light and fun. We're all here to have a good time. And I think it's a lot more likely that you follow an account that will give you a smile, will make you crack a smile every now and then, the one that is utterly depressing every other tweet, right? So, keep that in mind. And the last point, which might not, be relevant for everyone, but art. Share art. Whether you're an artist and if you're an art, whether there's other art that you like, share art, because there is nothing better than a timeline filled with gorgeous art. Now, I'm going to just say this. I think art are the equivalent for NFT Twitters of kittens for, I don't know, Instagram or YouTube. Everybody wants to look at art. So share that, and you'll do well. Well, that's it. Thank you very much. Now, please go follow me on all of... No, just Twitter and Instagram. Thank you.